I would point out right off the bat here that JPMorgan's return on equity is coming in much higher than expected here. We will absorb the numbers as they come through, but that is a very interesting number to focus in on as JPMorgan's numbers cross the wire, because there was a lot of worry here, not only about any potential pressures on net interest income, but also what you would have had in terms of costs rising over at JPMorgan. That bottom line at JPMorgan was actually the question at the end of the day.
All right, so just taking a look right now, we've got a Wells Fargo missing their net interest income. You have JPMorgan beating it. You also have JPMorgan coming in pretty much in line going forward with revenues, et cetera. I am wondering about credit loan losses. We did see a big gap up in JPMorgan in terms of what they expect credit losses to be. How much does that indicate some sort of forward view in terms of their caution going forward?
You know, you think about 4 days ago what we saw from the New York Fed, expectations from consumers and that worry about availability of credit, and then how much the banks pulled back on the heels of those losses starting to rise. Ultimately, that's going to be the biggest question, Lisa. How willing is a JPMorgan, is a Bank of America, is a Citigroup willing to lend in the face of these higher losses?
Decent numbers on the investment banking business side of things. Revenue coming in at $2.46 billion over at JPMorgan. The estimate was 2.13. The commentary from Jamie Dimon. Lisa, how many times have we heard this over the last few quarters? We continue to be vigilant about potential tail risks.
I mean, that's kind of his job, is essentially to be vigilant and handle tail risks. He's talked about that the way that you're successful through cycles is not to get lost in the euphoria on the way up and not to get lost in the sob stories and the trauma on the way down. What you do see is a company that's benefiting pretty broadly from their heft. We're getting the equity sales and trading, they beat. Fixed income sales and trading on the margin, they actually missed a little bit, but pretty much in line. Net interest income coming in strong. To me, the question is how much they keep saying this simply to just offset incredible profits, even when other banks don't show that same kind of strength.
Sonali, just going through business line to business line, what jumps out for you here?
Definitely those core Wall Street businesses. There was a big debate going into this earnings season about just how much Main Street versus Wall Street would start to show up in these numbers, and Wall Street is showing you that they are very much alive. And these trading numbers, equities, for example, winning here, fixed income winning at JPMorgan, is an interesting setup for the rest of earnings season. That volatility in the markets is where these guys start to win. And, I will mention under the surface, one of the big debates here is, will the Federal Reserve and other regulators put more capital rules or, frankly, other types of guardrails on these trading businesses? They are certainly, for the time being, minting money.